Have you ever gone into a study session with the intent of really just making progress, understanding work, covering sections, and just come out of it the exact same as you were when you went into it, literally not having grasped anything and feeling like you didn't actually make any progress? Has it happened to you? Probably has. It happens to all of us. I mean, it happened to me all the time, where I'd go in and I'd really just push, and I'd really want to make progress. I'd really want to get stuff done and get that understanding and really set myself up, but I come out of it as if I didn't do anything, and I felt like I just wasted a lot of time. It always happens, but I think there are a few things just here and there that you can change, you can alter, and you can improve for yourself in order to sort of maximize on study session and really just get the most out of it. So I'm just gonna give you guys a few tips and tricks on how to make your study sessions a bit more productive and get the most out of them. So a big part of your focus, a big part of just really just zoning into the work and grasping as much as possible is minimizing distractions. And I think this is something that a lot of us don't actually do well, because in sort of our age, I think especially with how much technology there is out there, it's so easy to just get distracted by things popping up, things ringing, and things going about all the time. It's so easy to get distracted by the things around us, by all the small things. And in us getting distracted, you lose focus of what you're doing. And scientifically, when you do lose focus, obviously depending on how much focus you've lost, it takes often a few minutes to get back that focus and get back to the level that you were on initially. Just literally 10 seconds of you being distracted and there's something there, and maybe just quickly answering a message or going on IG for some time. You doing that automatically makes your study sessions more unproductive, makes you get less done in the amount of time that you allocate for yourself. That's so important to understand. So I think our first starting point is very simple. It's literally just to reduce distractions, reducing the distractions around you, reducing all the little things that can sort of bother you and take your eye off things. And this was instrumental, me removing as many distractions as possible. It was instrumental in me succeeding in my academic journey. I think whenever it was crunch time, whenever it was time for me to study and time for me to focus, I was able to do that because I would have as minimal distractions as possible. So I'm just gonna list a few things here, but I think first of all, something that I do as well, obviously I'm not perfect, so I sometimes forget here and there, but when I do it, I see a big difference. But put your phone away. Put your phone far away. I'd even suggest put it out of sight, because out of sight, out of mind, of course. Put it in the kitchen. Put it somewhere where you literally, it's not an arm's length. Because I think the problem comes in when our phones are literally an arm's length, when you can just pick it up at any time. So put it as far away as possible and put it on silent. Don't let it ring unless you're expecting a very important call. But even just those sounds of notifications or just hearing the vibrating prompts you to want to go check, what is that? It prompts that curiosity to see what was that caused my phone to vibrate. Who's calling me? Did someone message me? Or did someone respond to my message? Or what's happening? So, even just having those thoughts of curiosity whilst you're studying is a distraction in itself. So, obviously your phone, biggest distraction, 100%. But I think even, I think we work on our laptops quite a bit. And our laptops can be very distracting depending on obviously what's going on. So I think minimizing all the tabs that you're not using, for example, if you're watching some series on a website or wherever, or you're watching a YouTube video, just closing those tabs and only leaving open the tabs that you're sort of using, or the windows that you're actually sort of using, is so important to prevent you from just going on a spiral of, hey, oh yeah, I was actually watching this video, let me just see how far I am, or let me just watch a few minutes. Then you're in a rabbit hole of just watching YouTube the whole day. So you really need to just prime your laptop for that productivity. And I think next up, very important as well, is priming your environment for success, priming your environment for productivity. And it's important that you maintain as far as possible, a very clean environment, a very conducive environment for studying, because the more stuff your environment has, the more clutter that's all around your desk, or all the books that are piled up here in the corner, all the things that you just did this, then you're putting it here, then you're putting more stuff on top, there's open notes everywhere. The more stuff there is, the less productive you'll be. So you need to prime your environment for that productivity. And the best way to do this is just periodically throughout the day, just cleaning your desk. I think it's easier to maintain a clean desk than cleaning a desk from scratch. So obviously, if it's super cluttered now, clean it up. But I think during the day, even maybe after every second study session, just tidy up a bit, put books away, get into that habit of when you're done with something, you're putting it away. And I think it sends a psychological message to your mind as well, to say that we have moved on from this subject. We have moved on from this topic or this module, and now we're moving on to another one. And that's a very important message that you're sending your mind there, because it so often happens, and I know it happened to me a lot, where we'll be studying for a certain thing, but we'll have, thoughts of what we were previously doing, that sum that we couldn't really figure out, or that thing that just, didn't really sit well with us because we don't understand it. And having these thoughts whilst you're doing something else is going to hamper your progress in this other thing. So you need to send your mind sort of psychological messages of we've moved on. And I think the best way to do this is by removing all evidence of what you're previously doing, and even just closing all the tabs on your laptop, or all the windows, or all the apps that you were using for that previous thing. So once you move on from something, move on from it. Guess what? You'll never believe it, but I made a second channel. Yes, guys, I made a second channel just chatting all things sort of self-development, and I think helping you on your journey. And I think it's more general content, but specifically is going to help you a lot outside university, into the rest of your life. I just thought, I've provided so much content here in varsity, but there's so much more things. I think the journey is so long. So yes, guys, leave a subscription for my second channel as well. Do check out some of the videos there. Very high quality, my standard. And yeah, let's continue with the video. And I think as well, very important for productivity is focus on one thing at a time, guys. Multitasking is not a thing. Multitasking does not work at all. It will not work for you. It does not work for me. And it will never work for the most productive person in this world. I promise you guys, multitasking is not effective. It gives us this false perception of making progress and of tackling and ticking off a lot of things, but we're not actually doing anything. If anything, we're wasting our own time, because you end up just being everywhere. You end up just touching everything and mastering nothing. I'm sure you guys have heard the phrase, a jack of all trades and a master of none. And I think it does apply here in multitasking, in that the more things you're doing at the same time, the less effective you are at each thing that you're doing. It's important. But if you focus on one thing, solely one thing, looking at that thing and not trying to touch base and, let me just quickly read here, oh no, let me finish this sum that I was doing earlier on. If you just focus on one thing and say, I'm going to do this sum, I'm going to write this essay, I'm going to read this piece of text only, the more attention you give to that thing, the more it embeds itself in your mind, and the more you remember it, and the sort of better you get at whatever you're doing. So it's so important to just, focus and make sure that you use your focus to your best ability. And the best thing you can do for yourself to be productive is focus on one thing at a time, guys. And if you start to get feelings of frustration, feeling like I'm really not understanding this piece of work, the sum is not making sense to me, I think obviously you do have to push through. But after a certain point, it becomes redundant or not helpful anymore for you to continue pushing through, because there's no point in getting yourself in such a muddle up, or in such a position where you're so overwhelmed and you're so frustrated and you feel like things aren't working out. There's no point in getting to that point, because it doesn't help you. So whenever you feel like you're super frustrated, or this specific thing that you're doing is frustrating you so much, and obviously you've pushed on for a bit, which is, it is important for you to just push a little bit, because you can't just give up immediately. That's not going to help you. But once you have just given it that bit of a push, like that bit of attempt, let it go. Stop, let it go, move on. This is very important, and this is something that saved me a lot in my third year, my final year, is anything that sort of, guys, this was just going down and it was frustrating me, and I wasn't understanding why I'm not understanding it, or why I keep getting this wrong, or the memo doesn't make sense to me. Maybe I'm practicing a past paper, or I'm not understanding the theory. Whenever I get to that point and I've pushed on and it's still just frustrating me even more, I say, okay, that's fine. You're a big problem. Let me just shift you away a bit. Let me put you away. Let me go do something else, and I will come back to you. You're not running away from your problems, because I think sometimes you just need that bit of fresh perspective, that bit of fresh insight, and that rejuvenation. And so often you get that from just touching base on something else. And I think as well, do something that you're good at, do something that you maybe better understand, to just give yourself that little bit of confidence again, and give yourself that little bit of esteem, so that when you do get back to that thing that was was frustrating you didn't understand it, then you're coming in with a fresh perspective. You're coming in with a mind that has accomplished something, that has done something. So yes, guys, navigate studying in this way. It's so important, and I think really apply all these tips that I've shared, because you can apply one or two, 100% it's going to help you. But I think once you start using all of them, and I think as well, adapt them for yourself, adapt them for your own life, and sort of make them work for you. I think once you do that, you really get your studying into a whole different zone. I think this is where you really maximize on your productivity of every single study session. Of course, there's so much more that I can talk about in terms of productivity, how long you should study for and stuff like that. But I think here, more so, I'm focusing on focus itself, on how to best focus. So I really want you guys to apply this. I think, let me know in the comments which tip I gave that I think best helped you. And yeah, guys, if you got a bit of value out of this, if you feel like you learned a thing or two, if you feel like I've helped you today, the smallest thing you can do is drop a like on this video. I think that really does help me see what videos you guys enjoy and what videos help you guys. And of course, subscribe to the channel. It's lovely to see our subscriber base grow. It's lovely to see you guys sort of just getting that value and these videos actually helping you. And as always, until the next episode, let's continue on our journey in creating a better world.